Hi, this is Janice from Space to Relax, and the video you're about to watch is a replay of a live class I taught on Zoom. These classes are free of charge for everyone to join, so please invite your family and friends. They're suitable for beginners and those of you with more Qigong experience. If you're watching this video on YouTube, then please don't forget to hit the red subscribe button so that you don't miss any future videos from me. I hope you enjoy the class. Hi everyone, and welcome to today's Qigong class. And the class today is showing you an example of some Qigong exercises and some breathing in order to help if you feel a little bit bloated, or if you want to find a way to weave Qigong into some kind of weight management or weight loss plan or routine that you might have. So I'll begin the class today by stating that Qigong is not the magic bullet. It will not make weight fall off you in a matter of weeks, but it will help if you want to combine Qigong exercises with healthy diet and with other advice that you may be getting from a healthcare practitioner. So what I'm going to show you today are a couple of Qigong exercises which can help you with that. Now, in terms of Chinese medicine, being able to lose weight or having a healthy weight depends very much upon the function of our digestive system. So if the digestive system is healthy, then we can extract the nutrition from our food that we're ingesting, and we can use it then and convert it very readily into energy, use it for fuel for our bodies. If our digestive system is a little bit weak or functioning under par, then what can happen is that when we ingest food, our digestive system doesn't extract that fuel and that energy in the healthiest way, and instead will turn it into excess fat or accumulation of fluid. So what we need really in terms of being able to keep a healthy weight is to have a healthy functioning digestive system. And that's where we're coming from in terms of Chinese medicine and Qigong. So what I'm going to show you today is firstly a movement which can help to bring or encourage more flow and circulation around the abdominal organs in the digestive area. And then I'm going to show you in the second half of this class some breathing exercises which you can do before eating a meal, and then also something you can do after eating a meal in order to improve the circulation to the digestive system, because that's what it's all about. When you have open and free flowing circulation in the digestive system, in the stomach, in the intestines, then that gives it the best chance of functioning in the healthiest way possible for you to extract the fuel from the food and actually use it for energy rather than turning it into fat. So that's the idea. So for the first movement today, what we want to do is get ourselves into a lovely Qigong stance. So firstly, standing with the feet around hip width distance apart, look down at your toes and try to have the feet parallel if possible. So big toes pointing forwards, and then looking from the big toes up towards the knees, have the knees at hip width distance, little bend in the knees as well. And then if you were to draw up from the knees up towards the hips, everything is parallel in the legs. So you don't tend to have the knees falling out or falling in, and keeping the feet nice and parallel. And maybe just a little bounce up and down on the knees, just to check that they feel nice and springy and soft. And you don't want a huge bend in the knees, but just a little micro bend so that you feel nice and stable and connected with the ground or the earth below you. And then just tucking the tailbone down and in, lifting up in the pelvis and the abdomen at the front here, just to encourage a little bit of openness in the lower back area. So you don't feel as though the vertebrae in the lower back are in any way kind of compressed or squashed together. And then just checking that the shoulders are nice and relaxed, shaking out the arms, tucking the chin back towards the throat. So draw the chin in rather than bringing it down, just draw it back towards your throat. So I'm thinking of that movement just going directly back towards the wall behind me. And as that happens, also imagine that you're being pulled up by a thread from the top of your head. So you feel some elongation along the back of the neck and up into the back of the head. And now bringing a smile to the corners of your mouth with the mouth closed. Beginning with some abdominal breaths. So closing your eyes for a moment and resting the tongue against the roof of the mouth with the tip of the tongue against the back of the upper teeth. Breathing in and out through the nose. As you breathe in, feel the belly expand in that lower abdominal area and expanding forwards, sideways, and back towards the spine. So in all directions, as though you're blowing up an imaginary balloon. And as you breathe out, feeling or seeing in your mind's eye, that balloon shrinking. And the breath, ideally, wants to be smooth, soft, and silent. So no huffing and puffing is necessary. There should be no real effort involved. Just lovely and soft and relaxed. Each time you breathe out, letting go of any tension you may feel in the physical body. And relaxing the mind. In your mind's eye, see the space between the eyebrows becoming wider, creating space in your mind. So remember, especially for those of you joining me for the first time, Qigong is a combination of movements, your breath and your mind in order to create the optimum conditions for the smooth and open flow of qi around the whole of your body and your mind. And today, paying more specific attention to the digestive system. So opening the eyes now so that you can see me. Now, you can stay in this standing position for this next movement, or you can come into a horse stance. So maybe try both and see how you feel, and see which one feels the most comfortable to you. So I'm going to come into a horse stance and show you what that looks like. So I'm going to step out to the side, just a little bit wider than shoulder width distance. And as I step out, looking down again at my feet, and the outside edges of the feet should still be pointing forward. So not having the toes turned out. Often you'll see people in a horse stance and they have that going on. That's because there's not that flexibility in the hips to allow that to happen. So you may find that you need to turn the toes out slightly, but ideally, if you can, have the toes and the feet parallel facing forwards as they were for your initial stance. And now pushing the knees out to the side, so not allowing the knees to drop down and in like this. The knees need to be out above, ideally above the feet, above the toes. And in order to really feel a little bit more stability in this horse stance, again, tucking the tailbone under and tilting the pelvis forwards and up. So I'm just going to show you from the side what that looks like. So coming into the stance now. So what you would want to do is, as you sit down, so you're not wanting to, I show you here, you don't want to be sitting down and coming forwards like this so that your buttocks stick out. Ideally, you're bending in the knees coming out over the toes, and you're just dropping the weight vertically down. So you see how my back is still straight. I'm not leaning forwards, I'm not leaning back, and I'm not sticking my backside out. What I'm doing is I'm tucking the tailbone under and then bringing the pelvis forward, lifting slightly in the abdomen. So the difference between incorrect, which is this, and correct, which is this, involves a tilt in the pelvis. Do you see? Okay, so you might want to just try that and feel the difference. This gives you a much more, once you're in this correct stance, gives you a really solid grounding, solid balanced foundation. So you may want to try that, but horse stance, if you're not used to it, it's quite difficult to hold for a period of time, but it's fantastic for building up a little bit of leg strength and a bit of balance, okay? So you can be in this stance, as I said, or you can be in your regular Qigong stance, whichever is easiest for you. So this exercise today is a variation of one called the swimming dragon. And for those of you who are in my Space to Relax membership site, in my paid program of Qigong lessons, then you have this in much, much more detail, and you have the full version of it there. But this is a slightly simplified version because these classes are aimed at beginners and for anyone to follow along with, but you will still get some benefit from this variation. So from this position, what I'd like you to do is bring your hands together and just bring them to heart level here. So palms are touching, fingers are touching, elbows are lifted up slightly, but not too much tension. Keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. Make sure they're far away from your ears. So don't allow the elbows to drop down too much. You do want a little bit of action going on in the arms. Now, with the swimming dragon exercise, what we want to be thinking of is creating lots of kind of action and twisting motion in the abdominal area. So first of all, we'll work with the movement, and then we'll bring in the breath, and then thirdly, the mind. So firstly, what I'd like you to do is just move your hands over to one side. You may find the weight shift a little bit. Don't be too kind of severe or tense in any of your movements. Just go with the flow with this, and then look in the opposite direction over the opposite shoulder. Now already you should feel a bit of a twist in the body. And now come back to the center with the head and the hands and go the other way. So move the hands across, keeping them up more or less at shoulder level, looking across the opposite shoulder and back again. Now let's get this movement nice and flowing. So moving and flowing. So keeping the movement continuous now. And you may feel that the legs come into this a little bit. The waist comes into it a bit. Just aim for a lovely, smooth, relaxed movement to begin with. Now, obviously, if you have any issues with head, neck, shoulders, any injuries or any limitations in your movement, only go as far as is comfortable for you. Don't pull any muscles, don't put your joints under any strain. Even if you could only do tiny movements like this, that's absolutely fine. Those of you who have a full range of movement, then extend to the side as much as you can by still keeping the palms together. And now let's do this with the breath. So bringing the breath into this now. So breathe out as you go to the side, breathe in as you come to the center, and then out to the other side. Breathe in to the center, out to the side. So you might need to slow this down now, depending on your speed of breathing. So work to your own comfort level. Don't just follow me. Everybody's going to be breathing at a different speed. Now keep going with this, breathing and moving. And now think about what we're doing with the organs of the digestive system in the abdominal area. So as you turn the head and neck to one side, the hands are going to the opposite side, and that's creating a lovely twist. It's a bit like wringing out wet clothes. It's as though you're wringing through the abdominal area, giving it all a little bit of a squeeze. And that squeezing action, or that twisting action, is helping to stimulate circulation in the stomach, in the small and large intestine, and really allowing for more easy and smooth flow of qi, blood, and fluid throughout the area. And because of that, this exercise can help to rid any excessive bloating that you might feel around the middle if you're accumulating fluid. It also helps to balance your blood sugar levels, so regulate your appetite. So that's its role really in the weight management side of things. But it also brings much more energy, gives a little bit more oomph to your digestive system so that it can do its job of extracting energy and fuel from the food that you're eating. And rather than turning it into fat, actually using it for the healthy functions that take place in our bodies. And now, just for the end of this exercise, just get really relaxed with this and create a little bit more of a twist, even more kind of turning the shoulders, looking in the opposite direction, and then see if you can get more of this kind of wringing out, twisting action, bringing your mind to the abdominal area. So although you're using hands and head here to move, the focus of your mind is actually in the abdomen. And you might find that you just come a little bit out of the stance that you're in. You may find the knees straightening and bending and twisting. But if you're in a horse stance, try and keep the stance fairly low, because again, that's just really giving you that extra grounding and foundation and really helping to create more strength in the thighs. And now just bringing the hands slowly back to the center. Close the eyes for a moment. And finish with 3 abdominal breaths. Smiling. And then if you were in a horse stance, stepping together, coming back to your Qigong stance of hip width distance apart, allow the hands just to drop down by your sides. And again, just close your eyes and observe anything physically in your body, which is a little bit different from the beginning. So I can definitely feel my heart beating faster. That's quite an energetic practice. I feel my hands are warmer and a little bit more tingly. And overall in my body, I feel a little bit warmer as well. I definitely feel the effort of being in a horse stance. I can feel it in my thighs. So I know they've had a little bit of a workout too. And now gently opening the eyes. So that's a variation of the swimming dragon exercise, which, as I said, can help to encourage that lovely free and open flow of qi, blood and fluid around this whole kind of middle area where the digestive organs are housed. And that enables them to then function much more efficiently, which then will help you to reach a healthy, balanced weight or rid any excessive fluid in this middle part of your body when all of that is functioning at its optimum. So that's a movement that there's among many movements which you can use in order to help with healthy weight management. The second part of the class today is to do with breathing and a little bit of movement at the end, but we'll work with some breathing now. So you can sit for this if you prefer. If you find your legs are a little bit tired right now, that's fine. But if you want to stand, that's probably a better position for you for the breathing I'm about to show you. So just to begin with, place one hand on your lower belly and the other hand directly on top. Closing the eyes for a moment. And breathing in and out through the nose. So the mouth is closed, the tongue resting against the roof of the mouth with the tip of the tongue resting against the back of the upper teeth. So deepening the breath a little bit more now. So really, as you breathe, feel the muscles of the lower abdomen expand and really pushing out against your hands. As you breathe in, the belly is getting bigger. And then as you breathe out, the belly is moving back towards the spine. So really feel into this movement of the lower abdomen. So even this simple movement of a slightly deeper abdominal breath is helping to bring more circulation into the abdominal organs, into the digestive organs, and allow them to function to their optimum. Now gently opening the eyes, but keep that breathing going now. And the next part of the breathing I'm going to show you is a breath to bring more fire into your stomach area. So it's really to kind of fire up everything that's going to be doing the digestion for you. So this breathing is not just specific to Qigong, it's also for those of you who practice yoga. It's called the bellows breath or Bastrika. And so if you do yoga, you will be familiar with this type of breathing. And the focus for this type of breathing is on the exhale. So the reason I was getting you there to really feel into the movement of the abdomen in and out is that as you exhale, what I want you to feel is that the abdomen is really shrinking back and moving back towards the spine. The inhale is then fairly passive. You'll find that the breath just comes in naturally after that, okay? So as you're breathing in and out, you're in and out through the nose, and the focus is on the exhale. And you start slowly, and then it's quite tricky to learn at the beginning. So if you've never done this before, keep it nice and slow and really deliberate. But as you become more practiced at this breath, then what you'll find is that you can go faster. And the faster you go, the more you can heat up this area of the stomach. And it's almost like, putting fire under the pot and really enabling that digestive function to take place in a much more efficient way. So you might want to keep the hands on the belly here. So breathing in, really feel the belly expand. And then as you breathe out, focusing on the exhale, shrinking and pulling the belly in towards the spine. Breathing in, letting everything go, and breathe out, focusing on the exhale. Breathe in, breathe out. And it's like fanning, using a bellows to fan a fire, okay? That's the idea. I'll show you from the side, and then you can see the movement. So really letting go in the lower belly area as you breathe in. Breathing out, shrinking back towards the spine. And then coming back to your normal abdominal breathing. So that is quite tricky to begin with. And if you do it quite forcefully, you might also find you get a little bit dizzy, especially if you're taking very big breaths in and out. So it's not a bad one to practice initially from a sitting position if you do find that you're hyperventilating a little bit with the force of that movement. Also, if you find that you get a bit dizzy with it at the beginning, then just take it really slowly and be very deliberate with that bellows breath as you bring it back, as the belly comes back in when you're exhaling. So those two types of breath, just that, firstly, that deeper abdominal breathing, and secondly, the bellows breath, fanning the fire kind of breath in Qigong, those two are ideally practiced about 10 minutes before you have a meal, because what you're doing is you're really energizing this whole area then ready to receive the food and to do its job of digestion. So it's got lots of energy in there ready to go for when you eat your meal. After you've eaten your meal, what's also a really good idea is to allow your body to rest. You want your body to rest and relax so that it has the chance to digest the food. So Sometimes people go out just for a gentle walk and they might find that that helps. But if you're not in a position to do that, what you can do is just work with a little bit of a massage around the abdominal area. And we've done this many times before in order to finish up with a Qigong class, where I often will say, give your belly a rub, firstly in one direction and then in the other. So all you would do with this is really just start with little circles around your belly and then allow those circles to get bigger. So taking in more and more of the abdominal organs. So really going up to the top of the rib cage with the circles and all the way down towards the hips with nice big circles now. Close your eyes, use your abdominal breath, and really focus on the chi swirling around, energizing, but also relaxing the digestive organs. And then still with the eyes closed, decrease the size of the circle. Keep the shoulders nice and relaxed as you're doing this, smiling as well. And finishing with tiny, tiny circles just around the lower belly area, around Dantian, which is just a couple of inches below your belly button. But the mind thinking deep inside the abdominal area. And allow the hands to come to rest. And now breathing in and out through the nose, using your abdominal breath. Observing any sensations that you feel in the abdominal area or in the whole body. And also make a note of how you feel mentally and emotionally right now after your practice. And now bringing the hands together, keeping the eyes closed, and rub them until they get really, really hot. Bringing lots of chi into the palms of your hands. And then placing one palm over each eye, fingers facing up towards the ceiling, feeling the heat from the hands, traveling back through the eyes to nourish the mind. And when you feel that heat dissipate, then giving the face a little wash, a little rub. And slowly opening the eyes to bring yourself back into the room. Allow the hands to just drop down by the sides, give them a little shake, maybe give your legs a little shake out if you're standing up. So that's just a couple of little breathing exercises and a really simple abdominal massage there in order to help your body to firstly prepare itself for eating a meal and then afterwards to just relax all of the digestive organs. So I hope you enjoyed the class today, everyone. Remember, you have the two aspects. You have movement and you have more kind of breathing exercises, which will both help to really strengthen your digestive system, to give it the energy, to give it the chi, in order that when food is received into that area, that it can really work at its optimum and convert the food into fuel rather than into fat and excessive fluid. So that's how you can use Qigong in order to help to manage your weight and keep it as healthy as possible, and also to rid excessive weight if that's what you're aiming to do. However, I would stipulate that this is not a magic bullet. It is not the only thing that you can use. Obviously, this is not going to work for you if you're going out eating really unhealthy food all the time and you just carry on doing what you were doing. So it needs to be combined with other healthy exercise, healthy foods, getting plenty of sleep, not being too stressed, because all of those things, if they're not balanced, that can also lead to an increase in weight. So as well, for anybody who has any specific health issues that surround your weight, then it might be a good idea to seek the advice of a Chinese medicine or acupuncture practitioner, or to go to your doctor as well if you're really concerned about your weight and you think there might be an underlying medical issue which is causing this problem for you. So I hope you enjoyed the class today, everyone. As always, if you have any questions, please post them in my Facebook group, which is Space to Relax Free Qigong Group, or email me, janice@spacetorelax.com. Also, if you'd like to donate, then 50% of the proceeds from donation towards these classes goes towards the ICU nurses in my local hospital, and the other 50% towards the upkeep of this website. And I do know the donation link wasn't working for the last couple of weeks, but it is all up and running now. So apologies to those of you who did try to donate in the last 2 weeks. It is working now, and I'll put the link in the replay next to this video. Also, please invite your family and friends to join, because as you see, these classes are really easy to follow along with. They're suitable for beginners and for those of you with more Qigong experience. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next class.
If you enjoyed this Qigong lesson, then there are 4 things you can do right now. The first thing is to head over to my website, which is spacetorelax.com, and there you'll see that you can join up for a free 3-part video series. The second thing you can do is click the link next to this video to sign up for the live Qigong classes, as I teach these once a week. The third thing you can do is go over to Facebook if you're on Facebook and look for Space to Relax Free Qigong Group. That's my free group where you can post any questions, and please do join the group. And the fourth thing is, if you're watching this video on YouTube, then please hit the red subscribe button so that you don't miss any future videos from me. I really hope you enjoyed this lesson and look forward to seeing you in the next video.